what's happening, everybody? I know that I just made an earlier video discussing this same topic, but the censorship, the timelines, it's hard to have the most accurate and up-to-date information. Like, I was on here saying what I heard on one podcast or one vlog, whatever you want to call it, and then people were like, I've heard these 10 and they said different things on these different 10 things. I'm not listening to all their entire press tour. Uh if other channels do that, I will give them that. I will bow out of that discussion gracefully because I'm just not doing that. But anyways, the point of the matter is Chelsie had an interview with Julie that took place sometime on Monday, but didn't post till Tuesday. Similarly to the interviews that I saw. Hold on, let me see this. Let me see if I can actually find what I was talking about earlier so I can play it for you. So if you hear any silence, it is just me searching to see if I might be able to find that. Okay. What I was talking about earlier was the thing that I saw of MJ, where she was a little bit on the salty side of things. But anyways, the reason I'm making this is because I saw this interview that Chelsie did with Julie. I just watched the interview just now, a few minutes ago. And she was saying that MJ came to her room at 6 o'clock in the morning, the night after finale or the morning after finale. I assume that's California time. And they squashed any beef that they might have. So she was like, we had a conversation. Oh, that one I can definitely play for y'all. Let me just see if I can find the correct spot of this interview where I can play what she said for herself. Hold on. Life this. Honestly, we just station. You won unanimously against her 7-0, and she chose to take you instead of Cam. Yeah, we talked about like, do we still love each other? That was a conversation. This was a game, and we had to have that real talk conversation, and squash any beef that may come up, and set a foundation that no matter what happens after this, we truly love each other. That was the conversation that was had. That conversation's about potential rekindling with some other house guests, what life looks like outside of this. And honestly, we just stayed up talking about when we're going to go to Italy together. We truly love each other, and thought this was a crazy summer spent together. And we just wanted to make sure no matter what happens, that we still have each other's backs this game. Now, so I think that based on that little clip, based on what I listened to and based on what she said. So she said that she barely got any sleep. Finale night was crazy. Obviously, we saw them out partying. They were not talking on a one-to-one basis like that, obviously, while they're celebrating with their families and everything and their friends. But what Chelsie was saying, that she got a knock on her door at 6 o'clock a.m. on Monday morning, and the person who was at her door was Mackenzie. And I think that, reading in between the lines, Mackenzie knocked on her door to seek some clarity over things that were being said to her in these different interviews. So she felt manipulated, lied to, used, I think, among other things. Um, and I think that she had questions that she wanted to get answers directly from Chelsie to find out, was this friendship and sisterhood and everything that we formed in this house a real bond, or were you just playing me to get to the money? And I think that, I mean, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about MJ speaking of this same conversation, but at least based on what Chelsie said of this conversation, it sounds like she was able to squash those concerns and tell her like, no, this like there were game aspects of it, but our bond and our connection is real. And I wasn't playing you in that regard. I had a one up on you kind of game wise, but the personal is the personal. And Chelsea once again said to Julie, because Julie was like, would you have picked Cam or would you have picked MJ? And she was like, I was wrestling with that back and forth. She said she was praying on it. And she said she knew that Cam would have been the easier selection to make because he doesn't have the resume. But she said after she prayed on it, she said that she felt like, that was what God told her to do was to pick MJ. So she said if she had won that final HOH and she was given the choice, she would have picked MJ despite the fact that she felt like it would have been a harder road and it would have been a stronger possibility for her to lose than it would be against Cam. So that's what she said. It sounded genuine, to be honest with you. Um, 1 second, give me 1 second. Somebody is at my door, possibly, but I can play one of my favorite videos. Oh, maybe I shouldn't play the video. I'll be back. My apologies for that. I'm back. Yes, you back. Back again. So I would love to be able to see an MJ interview where she speaks about this same conversation because I don't like only hearing from one side from one person in a two-person conversation. But the fact that MJ went and sought her out, if you guys had seen or heard that specific interview that I had heard this morning, which I have been trying to find and haven't been able to find, you would know exactly what I was talking about with MJ sounding like she was upset with Chelsea. Secondly, Julie asked her the other question of the day, which was like, "Hey, this whole thing with you and Cam, are you going to be in a relationship? Did you have a crush on him?" She said, "You don't have to answer if you don't want to." Chelsea was like, "No, I'm going to answer." So the answer that Chelsea gave to that question was that she was like, "Me and Cam definitely decided within the house that we were not going to pursue anything in the house, that we were just going to have a great friendship." And she said that's what we did. She said he's a great guy. She likes him as a person. She said that on finale night they slipped out together. They went to eat dinner. They argued over some things. They laughed over some things, and that's where they're at right now. It's not really tea. It's like the same, almost the same thing that she told everyone else, with the exception of saying that they did go out and have an individual dinner together. Now, I don't know if the vibe was dinner date or like we're just going out to this dinner like homies type of thing, but they just went out. And she said that it was just friendship vibes. She said, we don't know where it's going to go between us. It will possibly be explored, but obviously, I don't think it will be necessarily explored right now. That's just my opinion. Even if they do explore it, they just got out the house. Not that people have not done that, because we have seen examples of people who said they were power couples the minute they stepped out of the house. But, trauma bonding, not a good thing. So therefore, yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, that was the main thing I was gonna say was that Chelsie said in her God 101 interview, which you can see on Instagram. I don't know if they posted elsewhere, but I see them only on Instagram. And she said they spoke the next day, they squashed the beef, and they both left that conversation saying that they love each other and that they're not really going to let any outside factors come into play. But, that kind of thing is easier said than done because they're going to go home to their respective families. MJ's people are going to think one thing, Chelsea's people are going to think another thing. I just hope for the best outcome. Um, and for them to just realize that, they're the two people who were in that specific relationship, not the outsiders, and to realize that they were two people that were in a game. The game is high stakes, high intensity. There's a lot on the line, and things are said within the course of those 90 days that might not be the best, the greatest, the nicest, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to just lean on who the person is inherently and know that there's things within a game that happen that you are going to like and you are going to not like. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I just like to put out as accurate of information as I can possibly do. And this is the latest thing I heard about that. And so that's about all that I have to say about that. If I didn't say hi to you, Marshall, and hi, Ed. So please let me know what you think in the comments and take some time to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thanks all.